excited. We are here. I'm just closing all this stuff because it's a lot going on here. Are you with me? So, I am Miss Kim, your Get Excited girl from the Revolutionary Institute of Beauty, Miss Kim's Beauty LLC, and the Beauty Exchange. Ah, got so much going. Let's go back here. All right. Some water, my drinks. All right. I'm just trying to figure out my scope here. All right. So we're live. Today, the conversation is welcome back to the channel. First of all, we are Miss Kim's Beauty and the Revolutionary Institute of Beauty. We are here in Oxon Hill, Maryland. Super excited to share these things with you and have a conversation about our licensed professionals in the DMV or and beyond. So, this is we're going to do our check in. So, what's the conversation about today? Are you feeling stuck? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you confident, consistent, inconsistent? What is the case with you in the beauty industry today? Welcome again. I am Miss Kim, and this is my podcast. I am new to this, and I'm having so much fun while learning how to navigate through all the different pieces here. And hopefully, I can keep you guys engaged and in tune because we have a lot to talk about here. And we're going to start with first, are you a licensed professional? Are you a beauty professional? Have you been in the business for years? Are you just getting started? Where are you in this practice right now? What area are you in? Are you a student? Are you a licensed professional? Have you been in it for a while? Now, for me as a CE hours provider, I get lots of phone calls from people that are all in all aspects of their journey in the beauty industry. And there are some people out there that have been licensed for years that are holding on to their license, but they're not actively practicing, which is super fantastic as well. So, you have a license to practice. I would definitely keep it up and not let it lapse because, like I've stated before, you cannot be replaced, at least not yet, by AI. While they are trying to, tap into what are the things that they can do as far as robotics in this industry to take away from what we do, it hasn't happened yet. So while we're still able to do all things beauty, I'm going to continue to have these conversations. So get excited. Are you going to, are you completing beauty school? What does your beauty school journey look like? When I think about where I came from in the beauty industry, I remember wearing a white uniform, white shoes, white stockings, white skirt, our sleeves all the way up to our wrists, our white uniform all the way to the wrist. We couldn't show any skin whatsoever. We had to button it up right and tight. Otherwise, you would not be allowed to go into class and um, work on your client. Today, I had a conversation with someone, and they were talking about the lack of professionalism in the beauty industry. What do you think about that? Have we crossed the line where we're no longer considered as professionals, or do you still feel as though, we still signify professionalism in the beauty industry? And a lot of people talk about what it is we're wearing, how do we wear our hair, what are we doing with our clothes? We are individuals, so we can do what we want to do, but still within reason and with much respect. The licensed professionals, because we are licensed professionals, we want to make sure that our licenses are up to date and that we're working within our scope of practice. And yes, we can learn how to do all things, but are we legally able to do those things while we're doing someone's hair, their nails, their makeup, their skin, whatever it is? Are you working in compliance? So when we think about now that you've got your license and what do you plan on doing with it, do you write these things down? Do you talk to your family about it? What is the career plan or path that you have set for yourself? Because sometimes we can get in this business and we're not really sure exactly where we want to go with it. But you have to have some idea. And I can recall when I was a student, I told you about the white uniform. And back then we were in school for 10 months full time. And part time was like a year and a half to finish. Well, I finished full time. I did my 10 months. And after I was done with the 10 months, I wasn't quite clear on what I was going to do and, what my journey looked like in this industry. And here I am 40 years later, and I'm still in it. So, one of the things or reasons why I wanted to come on and create this channel was to create a space for beauty professionals to have somewhere to go and to have someone to talk to and to get resources. This is a hub for all things beauty. So whatever that looks like for you, whether you're in the beginning stages of the beauty culture or you're making your way out. We're starting to get calls now of people that are interested in becoming a teacher. Well, how do you transition from becoming a licensed beauty professional with no educational background to teaching? So, that's something that you can create a plan for if it's something that you're interested in. Now, as far as our beauty professionals that are just getting started, sometimes I want to talk about testing. And this is so important because once you have your license, or before, after you graduate, you have to go and you have to take your test and get your license. There's a space there where you may feel a little bit unsure about how am I going to do this? Do I have the confidence to take this test? And there's a lot of people that are just afraid to take a test. I was one of those people. You put so many doubts and worries and fear in your head, and you think that, no, I can't do this. But we're here to let you know, yes, you can. If you just change your mindset, figure out what strategies works best for you as far as test taking. Does that look like you partnering up with someone? Does that look like using study cards, those little note cards that you can write vocabulary on, and then find out what it is that is going to be on the test, especially for someone that has gone to school many, many years ago and they want to take the test, but they don't know what's on it. The good thing is that once you've completed, those hours are your hours. They're not going anywhere. And if seen my channel before, you know this. I've said it before. 1,500 hours, depending upon the state that you're in, those hours belong to you. Nobody can take them away from you. It's just a matter of finding out exactly what is on your state exam and then preparing for that. So for the student that is working, you've been working in a different sector, a different industry, and now you want to get back into the beauty business, but you want to do it the right way, you need a study guide. So once you get your study guide, you can find out exactly what's on the test, and then you can do a workaround. Okay, let's say for instance hair cutting. We know the hair cutting is going to be on the test, but do I have to answer all of the questions regarding hair cutting? No, you don't. You just need to find out, as far as your state's concerned, what topics within the hair cutting chapter that they're looking for so you can study for that exam. So I'm here to encourage you, to let you know that it's not too late. It's never too late. I'm going to say it one more time. It is not too late for you to get your license. Okay. So tap into a resource, a community that can help you. And if you don't know anyone in your state, we are here for you because we do have access to some of those other states that can help you get your license. Get excited. Now, for those of you who are interested in the beauty industry and you're working without your license, now you've gone to school, you go to school, you decide I'm going to do this the right way. I get my license, now I'm working. But take into consideration that there's so many different avenues. I'm going to say, oh my gosh, so many different avenues for you to explore in the beauty business. Get excited. Do you want to be a salon owner? Do you want to work behind the chair? Do you want to partner with someone else? Do you want to have your own mobile business? I mean, think about it. And we talked before, like, the bridal industry is vast, it's enormous. So you can decide what part of the beauty industry you want to tap into and then take that straight to the bank. Get excited. Do you want to specialize in something like hair cutting or hair coloring only? You don't have to do all things. You could just specialize in one thing and become good at that, and maybe even think about getting into education like I did. Once I found out that I first have the gift of gab. I like to talk a lot. And I do have I would like to say the power of persuasion, maybe just the insy wincy teensy bit, and that I help to motivate and encourage people. So I said, okay, well, I believe this is my gift. This is my gift. So what am I going to do with it? And you have to also think about what your gift is. What does that look like for you? What are you good at? Okay. How do you feel about clients? Now, that's another thing. In this business, sometimes people just don't like people. So if you're not a people person, this is a people business. We are in the business of caring for other people. And if you do not like being around people, you don't like touching people, you don't want anybody touching you, you don't want to talk to anyone, this isn't the business for you. So consider that before you go any further. That is something that is really, really serious. And I've had students in the past that have told me, Miss Campbell, I'll do the work. I'll do anything you tell me to do, but I'm not going to talk to anyone. Well, there's such thing as a consultation, which includes us having a conversation with someone. And when we are in this business, we have to make sure that we can listen, because you can't get the job done if you're not listening. And we're going to have to interpret. We have to interpret what this person is asking us for, and then we have to deliver. We need to deliver exactly what they're asking for. Now, there's going to be times when that's not going to happen for you, because there's been times when it's happened for me. I'm going to tell you a story. So one time, because I like to tell stories, one time a client of mine asked me for a French roll. And French rolls were really, really popular back in the 90s, I want to say. I think it was the 90s. Maybe the late 80s, early 90s. We were all wearing flips and French rolls and asymmetric hairstyles and uptowns where it's really high on one side and then over to the other side, my favorite. Much hair as I can get and fit in the car. That's what I want. So client comes in and she asked me for a French roll. And I knew what a French roll was, and I had learned how to do a French roll when I was in beauty school, but it was a little bit different because the texture hair was a lot different than what I was accustomed to doing. So while I was working through the hairstyle, I realized that I was having a lot of difficulties. So it didn't quite come out the way she wanted it to, and I was I was e- equally shocked and appalled by what I had created. But at this point, it was really nothing I could do about it except for to do it over and to apologize for the mess that I've created. But I was a new cosmetology, right out of school, and I was new in the salon sector, and it was a learning experience for me. It was a disaster, but I learned from it. And one of the young ladies that was sitting beside me, she was like, "Oh, let me help you through that?" And she did. So, I'm telling that story because it's encouragement. And a lot of times we get out there and we get stuck in our head about what we can't do. You can do anything you put your mind to. And I put my mind to, I'm going to do this French roll, but it didn't quite turn out the way it was supposed to, but at least I tried. So we have to try. Don't ever give up on yourself. Now, today, as an educator, as a styler, I can do a French roll and a pretty good one at that. And I can share my experiences and teach other people how to do it as well. So never give up on yourself, and decide if you want to even specialize in updos, which I would suggest because there's a lot of money in it. But just stay focused and make some decisions on where you would like to go in this beauty industry. And as far as education is concerned, you might want to be an educator, but how do you know? If you, I'm going to tell you how you know you're a good educator. Give me one second, I'm going to take a sip of water because I am a little thirsty. Mhm. I started drinking okra water. It's so delicious. I'm hooked on the stuff. Anyway, so you may be thinking about how do I get into education and how do you know you would be a good educator? So let's say that you love sharing. If you love sharing what you have learned in this industry with other people, even without them asking, you would be a fantastic educator. And that you are also open to learning, because once you're open to learning yourself, you have to be in a constant state of taking in more information at all times. Once you close your mind, you can forget about it. There's no growth. But if you are always waiting and learning and open and willing to share and learn, then you'd be a fantastic educator. And that's something, another part of the beauty industry that you can tap into. So get excited about that. And then we also have to think about, okay, we're looking for direction here. We're looking for our framework. What practices am I going to put into place so that I can be effective in this industry without repeating? Because listen, I have had so many repeat things that I've had to learn, lessons that I've had to learn. Okay, well, if you did it wrong, you're gonna have to do it again. You gotta try again, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and try it again. So here we are. We're on this call. We're looking, we're listening, we're learning, and we're helping each other. We're having this is a community and a hub where we learn from each other. So, let me know, what experiences have you had? What did you learn? Okay, we're here to share. What did you learn from some of those things, um, and instances that you had in the industry? For me, don't put so much hairspray and gel on a French roll because listen, it's going to be a hot mess when you finish. Take it from me, just don't do it. Okay. So now let's talk about, I'm going to keep an eye on my time here. We want to talk about your confidence. Because sometimes, let me say this again, sometimes fear can get in the way of doing what you want to do. Fear can get in the way of keeping you from pushing the go live button. Fear can get in the way of you getting off of your phone, doom scrolling. I don't know what it is you're doing that's not helping you be productive, wasting time doing things that are not moving you in a direction towards the success that you talk about, is not going to put you in position to be that person that you said you were going to be. But fear can get in the way of so many things. Are you with me? So I am here to, let's start this conversation or continue a conversation about fear and how it can stop us from doing those things. Okay. So we know that confidence is going to grow. Our confidence grows. And how does that happen? Our confidence grows when we practice a skill set. What do you mean, Ms. Kim? Well, let's say you want to be an educator. You're going to have to learn how to speak to other people. You want to learn how, let's say you want to be a master hairstylist. You want to be a person that works with celebrities. You want to be a person that is masterful in hair cutting and hair coloring. Okay. So, what does that look like? It looks like practice often. And I don't mean practicing the things that you already know how to do. That's not what we're talking about here. That means stepping out of your comfort zone and practicing those things that you've never done before. I remember someone said, "Oh, I don't want to do that because I've never done it before. I'm afraid to do it because I've never done it before." Well, how are you going to build confidence by repeating something that you've already done? Make it make sense. Okay, are you with me? So get out of the little box that you put yourself in. Okay, put on your confidence cape, get excited. Put on your confidence cape, get excited, and try something different. Practice, repeat what you've done, because you can't just do one task, do it one time, and say, okay, I did that. Nope, we're going to have to do it again. For example, here's my storytelling. When I was in school, we had to do a warm up of finger waves every single day for an hour. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Every day. Set up, do your finger waves. Set up, do finger waves. Set up, do finger waves. Set up, do finger waves. Okay. I don't know if you've ever done a finger wave, if you ever seen a finger wave before. And we're talking the old fashioned finger waves with some Coraya gum that, some gel fast. You have to mix it up the night before so it could set, and then you could use it in the morning when you get to school to finger it. Now I'm telling my age. Now you know how old I am. Anyway, so we did finger waves every morning. I remember my fingers getting locked, like just in this weird position because you have to use your fingers and the comb to smooth the hair to one side. I'm going to do a demonstration one day. I'll do it live so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Anyway, so I do the finger waves, and then I realized that I was getting better and better and better and faster. And then I started getting creative. And then I said, well, I wonder if I could do this with my eyes closed. And guess what? I can. Okay. That was a confidence boost for me because I started to get out of my box. I challenged myself. I wonder if I could. So I tried it and I did, and I can. And if I can do it, so can you. So again, we're talking about your talent. What are you talented in? I am talented in doing a finger wave, honey. Okay. I can do it so much so that my students one day challenged me. Oh, Miss, can you do the finger wave so fast? How many can you do in, I don't know. I forget how much time it was, but I said, all right, I don't know. Let's see. So we took the mannequin heads and we lined all the mannequin heads up in a row. They set down, I got to do everything by music. So they turned the music on and gave me the products and stuff that I needed, and I went to work. And I even surprised myself how many I did in less than 10 minutes. I know it was over 5, that's for sure. But, you can put your mind, when you put your mind to it, you can do it. There's nothing to it but to do it. And sometimes we have to stop our stinking thinking. Okay, we think so much that it gets in the way of us making any progress. We have to shut the mind off for a moment so that you can move to the next step. And trust me, I'm talking from real experience here, okay? And I am speaking from a place where I know that I suffer from attention deficit disorder. I'm pretty sure most of us do. But when you have a lot of things on your list, I know for sure it is hard to break through that. But you can do it. Okay, so compartmentalize. I'm just going to share you one of my little tools that I use. I compartmentalize when my thoughts start getting all crazy and stuff. I say, okay, just get the work done. What is my top 5? And sometimes you might have to break it down in your top 3. Put 3 things down and get those 3 things down no matter what. And that's going to help you with your confidence because you're getting it done. Once you start getting stuff done and you're checking things off the list, you're like, hey, now I'm an all-star. Get your game on, get paid. I did it. Are you with me? So another thing too is you can get some feedback from friends and family, and you cannot take things personally. Listen, you're not going to grow if you're sensitive about everything that somebody says to you. You're going to have to get some tough skin on there, baby, and just work through it. And if it hurts, it's okay. It's okay. It hurts. Sometimes the truth does hurt. But when it hurts, what do? You stick a Band-Aid over it, put a little bit of that, a little healing ointment on it, whatever it looks like, and get over it. Okay? Get over it. Get out of your headspace and get to work. Get the work done. Okay? I feel like I'm talking to myself right now, not just talking to myself because I'm in the room talking to myself, but I am really talking to myself right now. Miss Kim, get excited. And don't forget that in order to grow, you have to continue learning. All right. I'm in a space right now because I'm just sharing. I'm in a space right now where I am learning as much as I possibly physically can because it's so much out there to learn. And in a space where automation is taking over, AI is right. If you're not in AI and they say, oh, I don't need AI. I'm a hairstylist. Okay, well, how are you running your business? What does that look like if you're not using AI to some degree? Okay, if not, you're going to be left in the back there in that fake window. Oh, where's window? In that fake window, you're gonna be. Where are they? See that person over? That's weird. Yeah, anyway, that'll be you stuck like a mannequin in the dark ages. Don't let it happen to you. Okay, get excited. Mentorship, I talk about mentorship all the time. Who is the person or the people that you are going to confide in, the person that is going to push you in the right direction to be your biggest cheerleader. I gave my pom poms away. I need to get me some more. But yeah, you need that person or those people in your corner. Everybody needs a mentor, whether you realize it or not. Otherwise, you are chasing your tail. You're working harder, not smarter. So, what does that look like? You need someone that has experienced the things that you are seeking. Okay. You need to, I'm going to say that one more time. You need to find a mentor that has already done the work. All right. You need guidance from someone that has already done it, not from someone who has no clue. You don't want to go to the clueless corner, and you don't want to ask people that are just as clueless as you are. You need to go over here to the people that have done it, been there, done that, and have the expertise and can share and show. Okay, that's what we need in order to build our confidence. We want to make sure that we get in the room with the right people. And sometimes, guess what? You're going to have to spend some money to do that. Okay, so don't think about what you don't have. Think about what it is you want to have, and then create a plan to get there, get excited. Okay, now when I'm going to tell a little bit about myself right now. Okay. Sometimes we, as beauty professionals, just let me say all of us, we're beauty professionals, we jump out there without a plan. Yeah. And I did it, been there, done that. And, I know I come on this channel and I talk a lot about, mentorship and talk a lot about the beauty industry and, what path and stuff you should take. And you have to get a mentor and don't work without a license and all these other things, and get in the community. That's really important. But my story, a little bit about my story, I always talk about, and I encourage people to talk about yourself. Talk about yourself, talk about your business, because nobody's going to know if you don't talk about it. What was the saying? A closed mouths don't get fed. So I said, okay, well, let's talk about it. So I was always telling people how one day, one of these days, I'm going to have my own salon. One day I'm going to have a salon. One of these days I'm going to have a salon. And then I got a phone call from a friend that said, you said you want a salon, right? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Oh, well, I have a friend that's selling their business and it's a salon. You might want to go check it out. And I'm like, okay. So I went to check out this salon with a friend of mine who was very such a beautiful person, just my angel. And he was gracious enough to write the check. Okay, wrote the check, got the keys. Now I have a salon. But what I wasn't prepared for, and this is what I want to share with you, is this is a pain point, because I don't want to come in here and just start talking it up and chatting about myself and blah, blah, blah. It's not why I'm here. I'm here to share my experiences with you, so somebody might need to hear what I've gone through so they can learn from it, so they don't make the same mistakes. We're going to make mistakes, but we really don't have to, you know. But when you put a system in place and when you create a plan, you can change your life. You can take off a whole lot of years off of your life, okay? Which is what I did not do. I added years to my life because, whoo, hold on, I need some more of that okra water because this, yeah. So I wanted the salon, but what I failed to do before opening the salon is planning for it. So while I was talking about it all day long and I was putting it out there, God knows I want a salon. Okay. Be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. And then bam, salon. Okay. I have my own business. I had no business with my own business at that time of my life. Okay. But I did. And I was working through it and working it out and learning as I go and all of those things. But then, you know, life happens and all the craziness along with it. But mentally, I was not prepared. Okay. I was not prepared for what was coming down the pike, and I had no clue. I had no business training. I didn't have a mentor. All I knew in my head was that I wanted to start my own business, and all I really had, my only resource, oh, say this out loud, my only resource was my cosmetology book. And I love my cosmetology book, but that's all I knew as a guide for my business. The business chapter at the end of my cosmetology book, chapters, the 30 chapters, 30, 31, 32, 33, or whatever those chapters were in the cosmetology book. And I did okay with that, but it was just okay. It wasn't fantastic. And some other things happened during that time, and then I ended up having to shut everything down. But it was a learning experience for me. And what it taught me is that you can, and I'm sharing this with you, listen closely. And I hear, because I teach high school students as well, and I hear them all the time saying, "Oh, I'm going to open my own salon. Oh, I'm going to open my own business. Oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to do that." Well, I hope, you have a plan, honey. Okay, because the plan isn't always going to work. But if you have nothing, you are definitely going to what's the word? Help me find a word. You are definitely going to crash and burn. Let's say that you're going to crash and you're going to burn without a plan, without resources, without a price structure, without policies in place, without, how are you going to manage your clients, your staff? I'm not even going to. Okay. And also take it from me, you cannot trust everyone. You can't. No matter how much you want to, no matter how big your heart is, Miss Kim, you can't trust everybody. Because when you do, the destruction, it comes into place. All right. So just be encouraged. Put your tough skin on, because you're going to need it if this is what you plan on doing. Get excited about it. Don't get discouraged, because there's going to come times when, yes, you will be discouraged, but you can't give up. You can be discouraged. Okay, I might be a little discouraged. This isn't working out the way I thought it was going to. But do you stop doing what you said you were going to do for yourself and the legacy that you're going to leave for your family, whether you have children or not? It could just be for your name's sake. You have to do something, or you cannot. Okay. And remember, this is a place we're here encouraging each other. Get excited. I'm going to take a sip. Okay, can I do that? All right. So once you have your systems in place, and I'm going to share something with you. While I was talking about the automations and AI, so this was my aha moment for me in my business, that while, yes, you can hire people to do things for you in your business, you still need to be knowing what's going on. You got to be right in the middle of it so you can know what's happening. And those are some of the mistakes that I made early on in the businesses, where I just said, "Okay, sure, you want to help me? Okay." And then I just step back and then, trust that all things are going to work out, but they don't. Okay, so do not relinquish your responsibilities without knowing you're part of the business. Okay, and this is just, okay, I got this idea, but what am I going to do? How am I going to execute it? All right, and put it down on paper, write it out, make it make sense. If it doesn't make sense, then go back to the drawing board and try it again. Even if you're starting off as a solopreneur. Is that a word? Solo? Solo. I think it is. That's, yes, solopreneur. That's what I am and have been. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I love it to a degree, because, while everybody else gets to go to bed, I have to stay up and keep working. But we are getting through that and breaking through and moving to the next stage And I like to say, as Omar said, go pro. That's where I'm trying to go. Get excited. I have a few mentors out there. They don't know it, but Omar and Mel and all of the greats that are out there. I'm watching you and I'm learning from you, and I'm so grateful that you do all those things that you do. I think sometimes I might be a lyricist. I'm gonna have to see if I am or not, and just go freestyle one day to a beat. I used to want to be a comedian. That's funny. I used to want to be a comedian and do stand up. And one day I may. But that's something, a fear. They say, don't be afraid. That's one of the fears that I have, is get in front of a bunch of people and try to do some stand up comedy, and then get booed off the stage. And then that'll be sad for me. So we have talked about the business structure. What are you going to do? Do you have a plan? How are you going to create it? What does it look like for you? What sector are you interested in getting? Are you motivated? Are you clear? What does that conversation look like with you in the morning? What wakes you up in the morning? What what do you go to sleep thinking about? If that thing that's sitting on your heart and your head at all times, then that's the thing that you're passionate about. So where are you going to take this passionate thing to? What does it look like? I want to know. Put it in the chat. I'm so excited to hear more about, what you're trying to do. And sometimes we try to do it all. You try to do everything, but we can't do everything. We're going to have to compartmentalize those little things and tackle one thing at a time. Okay. What they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. No, it was not. So while you are thinking about offering hair and nails and makeup and braiding and lashes and products and classes and coaching and content creation, I want to do everything. Make it make sense. Okay, so where do you begin? Because now you're looking at your attention being divided. And when your attention is divided, that keeps you from being consistent, because now you're all over the place. And yes, we want multiple streams of income, but that income is not going to come in if it is not organized. Okay, you want to do your YouTube channel, you want to have those downloadable thingies. What are they called? Okay. You want to write a book. You want to go back to school. But right now, we have to just find one thing. So if you have watched the end of this live, what is your one thing? What does your one thing look like? What are you going to do for yourself that will put you in position to move to the next stage? We, as much as I love being on my phone and scrolling and laughing at videos, I am a cat dog person, and I love those birds that dance and little feathers and stuff go up all day long. I can sit there and watch it all day long, but guess what? What's it doing for me? It's not doing anything for me, but it's definitely doing something for the person that posted the video. So you're going to need to post your own videos and create your own content, but you're going to have to start somewhere, someday, somehow, because we don't need to finish the whole list, but we have to start one. Okay. And like I had mentioned earlier, what is the top five? What are your top five? What are your top three? At least three to five things that you want to accomplish, three to five things that you want to get done during the course of the day. You need to get it done. Get it done. Check it off the list. I don't care if it's folding your clothes, doing your laundry, getting the cobwebs out the corner of the wall that you've been looking at all summer. Dust your fan, something. Okay, write down a plan, create a plan, call somebody, find a mentor. All right, create your price list, decide what part of the sector you're going to be in, get excited. All right, if that means that you want to be a podcaster and you need equipment, go shopping, get your list together, do something that's going to help improve your situation. Okay. Are you telling yourself you need more clients? Well, how are you going to get more clients? I need more clients. I've heard that today, actually. I need more clients. So, what are we going to do? to get more clients. So we need to stop talking about all of these things and we need to start putting things into place and we need to create a plan. So what does the plan look like? What does your plan look like? Get excited. Do you have a system in place for booking? If you don't know, we have resources here at the Revolutionary Institute of Beauty that will help you get all things in place. Okay. And we don't have to worry. There's no need to worry. There's no need to be afraid. You just have to respect the time that you have. We only have 24 hours in a day, and we need to get some sleep in between all of the work and processes that we're setting up. Get excited. All right. So if you have children that need to be taken care of so that you can get the work done and start creating your plan, then it's time to get in touch with your family members. Say, look, cousin, sister, mother, brother, I need your help. I need at least 2 hours for the day to help me, just to help me sort through some of these things that are going on in my head so that I can create a plan, a success plan for myself. Because you need the community, okay? And if you don't have anyone, you've got us. We're here for you. So remember, the Revolutionary Institute of Beauty, Miss Kim's Beauty LLC, and the Beauty Exchange. We are all things beauty. Get excited. And remember that you completed your beauty school training, you have your hours. You don't have your license yet, you need a refresher. You've been in the beauty business for some time now and you want to create another path, but you don't know where to start. You can give us a call and we can help you create your plan. Okay. Maybe you've moved into this state from another state and you're not sure where to get your license, where to begin. You have questions. Again, the Revolutionary Institute of Beauty, we can answer some of those questions for you. We may not be the answer to everything, but we do have answers. Okay. But one thing's for sure, we're here to encourage and uplift and help you get excited about what it is you said that you were going to do for yourself. Nobody dragged you into the beauty industry. You decided to do it. So now what are you going to do with it? Get excited. So, what does your future look like? I want to thank you so much for tuning in to this live. I am so new to this and I'm loving every minute of it. Loving every minute of it. Oh. So we'll see you again on our next broadcast, and we are going live every Wednesday while I am physically able at 6:30 p.m. and there'll be more to come. So thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you on the next broadcast. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day, morning, evening. Get excited.